recently, I've had the urge to absolutely rip apart and destroy my prints. But like, that would be kind of financially irresponsible of me, so instead, I am going to be cutting them up. Here's the first one I did, Akutagawa from Bungo Stray Dogs. Then I also did Chuya, and like, we might as well do all the prints at this point, right? So yeah, we're gonna be turning all of these 3D as well. I've never done a full body 3D art, so that's kind of exciting. Okay, correction though, I'm really cutting up the really old prints because I hate them now and I bought too much and I don't know what to do with them. Like, should I put them on clearance? Question mark? What do I do? These newer ones, I actually like those, so they can say. Okay, let's continue with Mao Mao. It's been so long since I've done 3D art, it's kinda crazy how fast I got back into the flow. This Akutagawa one was all the practice I needed. This time is a bit different because instead of having a base that I make all the pieces from, I just have loads of copies of the same drawing. I use one as a base, then cut up pieces from all the other ones to slowly layer up from the bottom. So since Mao Mao's hair is at the bottom, I put that down first using my favourite foam pads to make it look thick. Then I also cut out the eye whites before putting the face on to make it look a bit more interesting, cause otherwise the face would just be like one big piece which is kind of shit. I like angled camera so you can't really see the thickness, right? But I'm doing this from an angle, so just saying, but it looks completely insane for me. Like, this is how it looks with just one layer. Imagine 5 or 6 or 7. But seriously, I think I went up to 11 layers in some of my other prints. Like, it was kind of crazy. Luckily, I trust myself and the process, so it's all okay. Just look at how Mao Mao turned out, guys. This is so joyful. I'm really glad I decided to do the flowers 3D too, because they look very yummy. Yummy! Sorry, let's move on. We still have 6 more prints to get through. Oh my golly gosh, all in one video too. Man is going crazy, guys. You know what else made me crazy? Not rats. It was Akutagawa! Yeah, I have 2 for some reason. A small one for fun and a big one for more fun. The colors turned out really horrible on them, but I don't really know what I'm supposed to do about that. Throw them in the bin? No! I'm never turning raw traditional art into prints again because what is this, bro? Are we actually saying this right now? Edited traditional art for the win, you guys. Or you know, you can just be smart and do digital art, but that's boring. We can't always do digital, guys. Anyway, this was a very interesting print to turn 3D. The first ever full body 3D art I do, and it's a flippin' print, bro. Ain't that crazy? So, Aura. Man, I wish I was a hot femboy. Sorry, I don't really know where that came from. Anyway, Akutagawa, Loki, I don't even know what I was doing. But I just bowled through the whole thing. Like with the other ones, I could kind of see what I was going, right? Like, I could see the layers in my head, but for Akutagawa, all I knew was that his cape part was at the back, so I just did that first. I guess I also had an idea for his face and stuff, because I already did it on his other print, but his hips were so, like... Bro, just look at this and tell me, how the flip do you make this 3D? It didn't look that complicated at first, but this leg and these parts of the vest are behind the other leg, and the vest kinda like comes down to this leg in front, so it's like part of the front and the back at the same time, and I need to figure out a way to make that look not shit. Obviously, when you don't know what to do, the best thing to do is to leave it for later. Procrastination. So I just did everything I knew for sure, like putting the legs on different layers and doing the boots. And the procrastination actually worked because I ended up thinking of an amazing solution to my problem, and that was doing a partial cut in the vest. Except you literally can't see it in the final product, but whatever. There's supposed to be a cut there, gang. The idea was that this part would be on the lower layer and all of this would be on the higher layer with the leg. But I guess this works too. I thought it would look completely shit, so I was freaking out, but I guess the layers aren't thick enough for it to matter. W question mark? And I did the entire top half the same as the smaller version, except I didn't cut out the eye whites because the eyes are the size of my pinky, bro. That is not happening. Surprisingly, I really like how it looks 3D. I should start doing 3D art where the character is actually in like an environment and not in the void, because this little ledge thing looks quite good. Fun fact, I was originally gonna make this gem part not 3D because it's really small, right? But then that area looked really plain, so I made it 3D anyway. Love and joy. Next I did this really weird Chuya print because I was turning anything into prints back then. The story behind it is I drew it on like the rainbow scratch pad things in an hour while procrastinating a YouTube vid. Then I decided it was good enough to turn to a print. I thought it would be really awkward to turn 3D because like there's no color, bro. Like how am I gonna see what's going on? But turns out I'm just too good for this and I finished it in an hour. My layer vision activated and I could see the layers even without colors, gang. I feel like the chosen one because who the hell needs a plan? It's all in my head! I am actually really happy with this. Like, who would have known it looks so good in 3D? I really like how the hair turned out, except I low-key accidentally cut off some hair here. If you can't see it, then that's a good sign. End up upset though because I went to the effort of cutting the collar into 2 different parts and you can't even see it. Like, what a scam is that? In case you're curious, by the way, the hat goes up 6 layers total because you have 5 foam pads from the base and another foam pad here, making 6. That makes it the most 3D print by far because somehow all the other ones used 5 layers. To be honest, I'm more surprised about them using the same amount of layers, but yeah, new high score. Except it is beaten by our next competitor, Vanitas, who goes up 7 layers. Ain't that crazy, gang? Look at how many foam pads I had to sacrifice for the flowers. I didn't record that much of Vanitas because he was just kinda plain. I guess something noteworthy is that I used acrylic markers to fill in his eye whites, so it would look better from more angles. But yeah, that's about it. It was kind of like the same as everything else. I also filled in Mama's eye whites, because it used to be if you tilted it too much, then you'd be able to see the eyelashes underneath. I think it looks much better like this. Other than that, I'm also glad for this flower right here. The hair for all of them is really awkward to do, because it's not made to be 3D, so the flower blocks like the awkward joining of those strands of hair. Anyway, next we have Fyodor! This is a weird print because it's actually part of my 3D Nikolai art. I just thought it was cool and I turned it into a print. Nian really be turning anything into a print. I think it'll also look cool when I actually turn it 3D, because it's got a lot of different layers if you know what I mean. Like, I have Fyodor himself, but the frame on top, flowers and pens will make it look elite, guys. Trust. I put the back of the frame 2 layers up, then I made Fyodor with my usual 3D methods. It was pretty nice because I didn't have to cut out the eyes or anything weird. Then I cut the frame border and put that on top of everything so it would look like a 3D art within the frame, and then I put flowers on top of that for extra 3Dness. I ended up going to 8 layers, which was kinda crazy. Like, why does it keep rising, guys? But overall, I am very happy with this. I feel like the flower prints look kinda bland, like, as a print, but because the flowers add extra depth, it looks really good 3D. The next one we're doing is a print of the Nikolai 3D art I was talking about. I'm not really a fan because I feel like a photo doesn't do the 3D art justice. But you know what would do the 3D art justice? Making a 3D print of the 3D art! Yo, what the heck is even going on in the Amphids? I thought it would be really weird and awkward to turn this 3D because it's like, already 3D? But not really? Question mark? But turns out once again, I'm worrying about nothing. This was so much easier than making the actual Nikolai 3D art. It was like laughable. I still have such an issue with his face, by the way. It looks so ugly. I'm gonna redraw this at some point. You know, it's really funny watching the recording of this because it looks like there's no layers. Like, I put the pieces on and they just disappear. What is going on, gang? At least the end reveal looks pretty nice though. I think he has the most detailed hair of everyone here. Most only have 3 pieces for hair, but he has like 5. Overall though, it only goes up to 6 layers, which is kinda ironic because this is the original 3D art. Finally though, we have Rampo, which I'm very excited about. I love Rampo. It's my favorite BSD ship. Fuck Sokoku. I still think it's really awkward that the ship name of Rampo and Po is Ran-Po, but someone suggested calling it Po Ran and that gave me mixed feelings. I've decided to continue calling it Rampo for fun factor. Anyway, let me have a real talk. 5 glazed donuts. I don't know what to do with my prints, y'all. Like, I just don't want them in my house anymore. It's been too long. I can draw better than that. Okay, maybe I'll keep 1 for memory purposes, but the rest have to go, and the sooner the better. The obvious thing to do is to put them on clearance, but I really don't want to. Cause then people are buying cause it's on sale, not cause they would want it otherwise, if you know what I mean. And that leaves a kind of bad taste in my mouth. It also just makes me really sad to sell art that I'm not proud of. Look, I share plenty of art online that I don't really like, but selling it is another story. So then I had the brilliant idea to turn them 3D, because 3D art is kind of what got me popular, it's like Nian iconic. I was really reluctant to do it at first, cause cutting up prints is kinda cursed, but like, what else am I gonna do with them, bruh? The original plan was to literally cut up all my prints, so I'd have multiple 3D arts of the same design, but after making Atagawa, I realized I only use about 5 prints per art, which is kinda bad considering it takes me 1 hour 30 minutes each. Don't even get me started on the Rampo one though, that one took me like 3 hours. So if I have about 90 prints per design, that would be like 30 hours to make 20 3D arts. Then I do that 8 different times for each design. Okay, you know what though, now that I think about it, 30 hours isn't sounding that bad. Like, I already spent 10 hours on some art. The really big 3D art, like Fyodor and Sigma, probably took like 30 hours anyway. And I could just stream this on Twitch or something. I don't get faster over time, question mark? I mean, I know it's a really bad idea and I really shouldn't, but I really should just sell the prints on clearance like a normal person, but I really don't want to. I don't know guys, I have better things to do than make 20 of the same 3D art. Look at this cool Rampo I did though. No wonder it took 3 hours, cause this thing has a crazy amount of layers. Since Rampo is on top of Poe, I had to put extra pads to lift him up. I think it turned out amazing though. I like these 3D art way better than the original prints, so I'm glad I did this. I'm gonna sell these on my shop, so if you want your own 3D art, you know where to go. I'm still gonna sell the original prints too, because what am I gonna do? Eat them? So if for some strange reason you want these, you know where to go. neansbasement.myshopify.com. Okay, goodbye everyone. Hey guys. So, turns out I actually have nothing better to do than make 20 of the same 3D art. This one is a new one. It looks a lot better than this old one I did, because this one's like the first one, so I had like, I don't know if you can see that, but there's like an extra layer underneath. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, looking at like my old non-3D prints just makes me really upset, so I might actually turn them all 3D. I will probably regret this, but I will regret selling prints that I don't like even more, so I would rather do this. Okay, thanks everyone, bye!